As we've been working with limits in this chapter, we've come across where we've gotten a limit of infinity several times. Well, in this lesson, we're just going to look at it a little bit more in depth. So at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to find infinite limits. All right, what exactly is an infinite limit? It's just a limit in which f of x increases or decreases without bound as x approaches c. And basically, it just means that we're approaching positive or negative infinity. And as I'm going through these examples, you'll probably notice that they look pretty familiar. All right, this first one, you'll notice I've got this graph going on. I don't have a question here, so I'm actually going to make up a few of my own. Let's say we would like to find the limit as x approaches 3 from the left. Okay, as I'm approaching x equals 3 from the left, I'm just headed up towards x equals 3, and you'll notice that I'm headed towards positive infinity. Another question that I might ask you is what's the limit as x approaches 3 from the right? And if I do that, again, I'm approaching x equals 3. I'm just headed up once again. I'm headed towards infinity. And then another question, that I might be able to ask you would be what's the limit as x approaches 3? And since the limit from the left equals an infinity and the limit from the right equals infinity, we would know that that limit is infinity. Okay, let's look at the next example. Some questions that I might be able to ask you with regards to this graph might be what's the limit as x approaches 3 from the left again, and as I'm coming into x equals 3, I'm headed down towards negative infinity. Another question that I could ask you is what is the limit as x approaches 3 from the right, and again, as I'm approaching from the right, I'm headed up towards positive infinity. And then a third question that I could ask you is what's the limit as x approaches 3? So I could look at my limit from my left and my limit from the right, and I know that they do not equal the same thing. So in this case, we know that the limit does not exist. And please remember, from here on out, when a limit does not exist, we're always going to explain why it does not exist. So in this one, we would just say the limit does not exist because the limit as x approaches 3 from the left does not equal the limit as x approaches 3 from the right. And that would be my explanation. Right, let's look at a few other examples where their graph is not given and we're given an equation. These problems would be on a calculator section. So to do this first problem, we have the limit as x approaches 1 from the right of 2 plus x over 1 minus x. Let's go ahead and get our calculators out. Let's go ahead and type this one in. It was 2 plus x in the numerator. And hopefully you are being an active participant right now. You're having your calculator out too and you're typing it in. And then divided by 1 minus x. Okay, I'm going to hit zoom 6 just to make sure I'm on the standard screen when I go to graph. And you'll notice I'm getting a picture that does have an asymptote in it. So let me go back to my notes so I can draw what that looks like. So the picture that I saw on my screen looked like there was an asymptote. It looked like at 1. And then we had something that looked like that. And whoops, we did not have something that looked like that. How about we had something that looked like that? And we have something that looked like that. So there we go. Okay, we're going to be approaching x equals 1 from the right side. So as I come in from the right side, I'm headed down towards negative infinity. So that would be my limit. All right, next problem. Let's find the limit as x approaches 0 from the left side of 1 plus 1 over x. Again, let's get out our calculators. 1 plus 1 divided by x, and then let's go ahead and press graph. And if we do that, I notice that we are again getting an asymptote. Let's go back to my notes so that I can write down what I see. So this time I saw something that looked like that on this side, and I saw something that looked like this on that side. So we would like to find the limit as x approaches 0 from the left. So if I head towards x equals 0 from the left, I notice that I'm headed toward negative infinity. So hopefully now you can find limits that involve infinity.